Ooh, welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, let's talk about this Isiah Thomas thing. I kind of mentioned it in a video, and I just had a sub ask me about Isaiah's remarks on Michael Jordan the other day. And like I said, I made a video. Well, I talked about it in, I think, the Bill Russell video. So I guess a lot of people don't get to see those Bill Russell videos because when I put out a Bill Russell video, YouTube won't put it out. They won't put it out. The algorithm, if you ain't talking about LeBron James, it won't put your video out. LeBron James pretty much owns NBA social media. So if you're not saying LeBron James in your title, then it won't get put out. But anyway, so we'll talk about the Isiah Thomas thing right now. And like I said before, you guys got to comprehend what's going on because a lot of people aren't going to tell you, especially like a lot of Jordan fans and stuff like that. Yes, what they're saying is right about Isiah Thomas in the whole perspective. Every time he trashes Michael Jordan. But let's remember this, guys, that they won't, I don't know why they won't tell you, but it's not about being a Michael Jordan fan. It's about what really happened, okay? Before The Last Dance came out, and we know what happened in The Last Dance. Michael Jordan called him a asshole, okay? But before that, which was 2020, from 2020 back, they had no beef. They was not going back and forth. There was no beef. Isiah Thomas was not beefing with Michael Jordan. All that was over, right? I'm not trying to say they were friends or anything like that, but there was no back and forth right there. It didn't exist. Basically from 91, 92, all the way until 2020 when Michael Jordan called him an asshole, okay? Is he? Yes, okay? But like I said, there was no beef from 91, 92 all the way until Michael Jordan said that in 2020. So let's talk about how, for Isiah Thomas, he was already humiliated. And wasn't that enough? When I say he was humiliated, you got to think he got swept in 1991 going for a three-peat. Okay. And then the next year, I think they lose to Knicks in the playoffs. And that whole, Pistons reign, that whole thing was over, right? Am I saying that the Bulls, Jordan's beef was over with him? No, but they wasn't beefing. It was over like that. Okay. He didn't make the dream team. Humiliation again. We all know, some of his teammates from the Pistons, Isiah Thomas teammates, Rodman, Sally, and I think it was somebody else. It might have been James Edwards. They all won championships with Michael Jordan. That's humiliating again. Not only that, Isiah Thomas came on NBC and he had to kiss Michael Jordan's butt, I think, for 2 years on NBC as a color analyst. So all that humiliation, basically, for what Isiah Thomas did, it was humiliating, guys. it was humiliating. Did he deserve it? Probably. But there you go. All that, he was humiliated, okay? And then we, fast forward to 2020, Michael Jordan calls him an asshole on The Last Dance. He could have just not said nothing. He could have just said whatever, left it alone. But he said what he had to say. Was he right or wrong for saying? Who knows? That, whatever. But he rekindled the beef, guys. Okay, you got to remember too. Michael Jordan did the Scottie Pippen thing with the Kukoc thing, where Kukoc got the last shot, and we all know that that was going to be in The Last Dance. So Scottie Pippen approved it, whatever like that. And then that beef arose. Should it be beef there? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like they said, Scottie Pippen knew it was going to be in there, but it could have just been between Scottie Pippen and Kukoc and Phil Jackson, boom, 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 because Michael Jordan wasn't even playing at the time. Anyway, like I said, ever since Michael Jordan said that in 2020 in The Last Dance and called Isiah Thomas a-hole, Isiah Thomas hasn't stopped, guys. Isiah Thomas ain't on NBC no more. He ain't calling games. He doesn't have to kiss Michael Jordan's butt. Isiah Thomas said, why are you calling me an asshole on national television? Like, you got to think the guy felt some type of way. He got humiliated all those years, not being on the dream team. His ex-teammates winning championships with Michael Jordan, being swept out the playoffs, going for a three-peat, all that stuff. His whole career was humiliated. So he felt like, wasn't that enough? You got to call me an asshole now all these years when we haven't even been going back and forth, had no beef. And I'm not trying to take Isiah Thomas' side or say, he was right for anything. I'm just saying that's where it rekindled. Michael Jordan rekindled this beef, and Isiah Thomas hasn't let it go since then because you got to remember what Isiah Thomas said. Why would you call me a asshole on national TV? So the man ain't supposed to have no feelings at all. At all. And again, people will say, oh man, that was an asshole move he did by walking off. Yes, he did. It was, guys. And to this day, he never told Michael Jordan sorry. I think he said that other teams did it or whatever like that. It was a whole move, but like I said, the guy got humiliated after that, guys. What else do you want from Isiah Thomas? So as a man, he's got a right to defend himself and say, look, why are you calling me an a-hole on national TV? He's not saying what I said as far as him being humiliated all those years, but he got to feel some type of way like he was. But that had to be enough. Had to be enough because I don't remember him ever calling Michael Jordan LeBron James the GOAT in 2016 or 17. It wasn't until Michael Jordan rekindled the whole thing in calling Isiah Thomas the a-hole. And That's all I can think of. I'm not trying to say Michael Jordan was right or wrong for saying it, but y'all got to remember, Michael Jordan brought up beef. As a Michael Jordan fan, I can hold Michael Jordan to a standard, and I can talk about Michael Jordan. His fans is borderline gay guys. They think Michael Jordan is an angel. They think Michael Jordan is a god. They think Michael Jordan never did nothing wrong and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to here to say that Michael Jordan did this wrong and did that wrong, or whatever. I don't know what he did wrong, and if he's perfect or not, but his fans are on some borderline gay stuff with Michael Jordan, guys. I'm trying to tell you, biggest Michael Jordan fan here, and I watch these platforms, and they're like with a lot of fans. With a lot of guys that they like, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. All these guys. Like, these guys aren't perfect, guys. I mean, come on, they're not perfect. I call Michael Jordan out for letting the NBA get to where it is today. I mean, he was an owner through all that LeBron James thing and all those super teams and all this stuff. Him and his crew dissing past players, past eras, and Michael Jordan never stepped up and said nothing. And I'm not trying to put it just on Michael Jordan back. I'm putting it on all these guys of the past. The 90s, the 80s, the 70s, 60s. In my opinion, the NBA is like it is because they never stepped up and said, no, we're not going to sit up here and get dissed and be calling all these names and say our era is trash and all this stuff. No, we're going to clap back at your era and start talking ish about you. But the fact is, I think that the NBA has a muzzle on these guys because these guys still get benefits from the NBA and are not really allowed to say nothing. And that's what's so sad. And that's just the way it is. To me, they're part of helping destroy the NBA because they should have held the NBA to a standard because they let the NBA get trashed. It just ain't on LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? You guys got to step up like men and be like, no, we're not going to. It's not about, LeBron James fans trashing past eras. That means nothing, guys. They're just fans. We're talking about actual players from the 2020s, the 2010s, the 2000s. We literally hear these guys the past 10 years trash past players of different eras in debate group guys. The Shannon Sharps, the Nick Rice, the Colin Cowherds, all these guys trash past eras, and they sit there and say nothing, guys. That's ridiculous. But us as fans, we got to sit there and protect them while they sit there with their millions and don't say nothing, guys. So to me, they're part of letting the NBA get to where it is to this day. That's all there is to it. I mean, these other platforms can sit there and protect Michael Jordan, protect this era and stuff like that. And like I said, if it was just LeBron James fans or, 2020 fans or, but it wasn't like that, guys. We're talking about analysts. We're talking about, recent players of the 2020s, 2010s, 2000s trashing the 90s, the 80s, 70s. And these guys sit there and say nothing. The Shaqs, the Barkleys, the Dr. J's, the Magics, all these guys. They might clap back once in a while, but to me, it's not enough. It's been going on for too long, man. You got to step up and protect your era. And it's just sad. They got to pass trash eras. I mean, they got to trash past eras for your era where nobody's watching it. Nobody cares. It's got the lowest ratings of all time. So you got to try to validate your era by trashing past eras. But we was watching, and the fans in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, in the 2000s, they was watching that game. The ratings were good. So how are you trashing past eras when nobody's watching your era? Nobody cares about your era. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, to me, man, there's some accountability with these past players who never stepped up and said nothing. All the stars, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, all these guys, Bill Russell was around when this stuff was happening. I don't care who it was that was around when this stuff happened. It happened, guys. It literally happened. They were getting their eyes pissed on. It's ain't nothing. And then hear Michael Jordan want to come back AI style on NBC and act like, people act like, oh, Michael Jordan's going to change stuff, man. They're going to start playing. They're going to start doing this. No, man, they start low managing and not caring even more when Michael Jordan showed up. I'm not trying to say it's because of him, but I'm just saying they don't care about Michael Jordan, guys. They don't. The analysts, the players, they done made a mockery out of professional NBA guys. It's sad. Even the owners, no accountability for the owners. Some of these coaches that played back in the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, whatever like that, no accountability for them. It's just the most ridiculous thing you ever seen. That's why the NBA is like it is, man, because it's a full blame between all these players from the past, never saying nothing, and just watching their errors get trashed. So, but like I said, for the Isiah Thomas thing, Michael Jordan thing, I'm just trying to tell you what it is. Michael Jordan, Isiah Thomas won't say nothing about the man for a long time until Michael Jordan brought up that what happened in 1991. I'm not trying to say what he did was right. All he had to say was it wasn't good, or I didn't like it, or Isiah Thomas eventually got what he got. He got what he got, and it was really humiliating. When he walked off that floor until the next 10 years. Like I said, they didn't put him on a dream team. He got swept out of playoffs. Michael Jordan was winning with his teammates. He had to kiss Michael Jordan's butt. I mean, like, What else what else can there be? Dude, Isiah Thomas got what he deserved. Now, I mean, he's saying the most ridiculous things in the world. Now, LeBron James is a GOAT. But what do you think he's going to say? Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time? Come on, guys. If he wanted to put Michael Jordan at number 80, what would that mean? What would that mean? It just means he don't like Michael Jordan. That don't mean he got to put him at 1 or 2 or 20 or nothing like that. It don't mean nothing, guys. Is he right? No, he's definitely wrong. But Isiah Thomas don't like him. Just like Michael Jordan hates his guts for walking off the. Michael Jordan still ain't, as much as he got humiliated, Michael Jordan still holding that grudge, guys. Michael Jordan is like a female. He holds grudges. Look what he did to Charles Barkley. Yep. Look what he did with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said something about him running his team, and he never want to talk to Charles Barkley. I mean, some of this stuff is ridiculous. And to me, for him to bring up that, call Isiah Thomas an asshole after all those years, they didn't even have no beef. It's kind of female-ish, guys. I don't know if, you really think Isiah Thomas wasn't going to say nothing? I mean, goodness God. Whatever. I'm not trying to say he didn't have a right to say it. I mean, I think we done heard that before from Michael Jordan before that point. So, I don't know. There you got it, guys. I mean, if you want to run back to the channel, they're all going to say the same thing. Isiah Thomas is wrong. Isiah Thomas is saying crazy stuff again. Isiah Thomas is going to keep saying crazy stuff. This guy, something is mentally wrong with the dude. He ain't all there. He ain't never been all there. And it really don't matter. All these guys just say a whole bunch of stupid stuff now just to get reaction so they can sell on their podcasts and stuff like this. This is why the NBA is trash now. It's not about basketball no more. It's about reaction. Oh, LeBron James did this, said this, blah, blah, blah. It ain't about basketball no more. It's about reaction to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So you could talk about the NBA, keep the NBA afloat. These top 5 players, international players, they're not keeping the NBA afloat, guys. It's on LeBron James' back. If LeBron James ain't saying and doing stupid stuff, nobody's talking about the NBA. Nobody cares about Greek Freak. Nobody cares about Joker. Nobody cares about SGA. I'm just trying to tell you, if these top 5 players was doing what they were supposed to do, carrying the NBA in ratings and everything else, LeBron James would have been gone, 5-8 years ago. All the top 5 guys of every era always carried the NBA, whether it was the top 5 guys of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, they always carried the NBA. The 210s. Now we get the 2020s. Now it's a problem. Now we got to have a damn clown show with LeBron James and his, in his son. We got to have the Kawhi thing. We got to have the James Harden thing. We got to have all this clown show because these top 5 guys ain't moving the NBA. Top 5 international players ain't moving the NBA, guys. That's the only reason why you hear all this stuff, all this scandal, all this stuff now about these 210 guys, because these guys are the ones that's moving the NBA. Without them, the NBA is dead, especially LeBron James. LeBron James ain't there to win. Luka, he didn't come play with Luka so Luka could win championships. It's a clown show, guys. They're a -3 in point differential, guys. That's ridiculous. They shouldn't even be in the top 9 in the West. But they're getting all these free throws so the league can keep them talked about the Lakers. This is where the NBA is now. It's not about basketball. It's ridiculous. These guys don't come to work. They're throwing games, apparently, obviously, on a nightly basis, these teams. So you know it's about Vegas and stuff like that. The NBA is in shambles, guys. It's on its last leg. And all you have is headlines, because when you watch the NBA games, it's just a uniform game of everybody playing the same. Everybody sitting at the 3-point line, the lack of defense, the lack of coaching. There's no real head coaching. These are just like stand-in head coaches. The refs aren't real refs. They need replays. They can't even call carry and travel and all this stuff. They can't call LeBron James for, doing the stuff that he does. The game is just a mockery. It's just a mockery. The game is a mockery. And all you're going to get now is, because social media is so big now, all you're going to get is he said, she said, he said, she said. In the game outside the court, the NBA outside the court is bigger on social media than it is on the court. When you watch it, there's nothing to watch, guys. There's no rivalries. It seems like, a lot of the players, they just shut down all of a sudden. You don't have Ja Morant doing what he's supposed to do. Zion Williams, all these great players, they just shut down. There's no back-to-back winning teams. The NBA is a mockery, guys. It's a mockery. And the only way these guys on social media can make any money, they got to wake up and say, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron. That ought to tell you what's carrying the NBA, guys. A clown show. You got these fake analysts. Whatever, man. Anyway, I just thought I'd talk about the Isiah Thomas thing. And, it's starting to be borderline scripted. That's what it's really starting to be. It's starting to be like borderline scripted. I don't know if it is or not, but if Michael Jordan would have never called him an a-hole in The Last Dance, we would not hear nothing about Isiah Thomas saying all this stupid stuff. But now that was just fuel to the fire because, like I said, there was no beef going on before the Last Dance, guys. No beef between him and Isiah Thomas. Now, were they friends? I'm not trying to say that, but him and Isiah Thomas weren't going back and forth with him, guys. There was nothing there. Isiah Thomas already got his humiliation for all those years for what he did. What else you want from the man? I don't know. It is what it is.